Today's terrifying throwback, we're going to be having a look at the Neca Halloween, The Night He Came Home box set. This box set, surprisingly, the last time that I did the review for this set, it was I think it was the first year of Spooky Spots. On the front of the box, you can see that there's both Michael Myers and the exclusive figure to this set, Sam Loomis, which so far has been the only time this figure has ever been released by Neca. I'm hoping they re-release him. Maybe they give him some extra articulation. You can't see it. I mean, the inside of this box, I've obviously opened this up already. It's not completely back in its original state, to say the least, but it doesn't really matter. We're going to open this back up anyways and get a better look at the set. Spin this around on the side. Oh, you can hear stuff rattling inside. There's Michael Myers and Sam Loomis. On the back, I don't know if you can see it. That's not my reflection. That's actually the shapes or Michael Myers' reflection. Some different things that come with the set. Along the side. Read-up says, this deluxe box set recreates the battle of good and evil waged between Michael Myers and Dr. Loomis throughout the Halloween film series. The diorama bases allow the figures to be posed separately or together to form a larger scene spanning over 17 inches in length. Dr. Loomis, presented for the first time in action figure form, is fully posable and comes complete with his pistol. Michael Myers features a ball-jointed neck and shoulders and comes complete with his trademark knife. Incredible movie-accurate detail brings to life the front porch and yard of the Myers home. Year, I'm trying to see the year on this. I want to say it's like 2002. Oh, there's another picture there of Michael Myers and Sam Loomis. Don't see a date anywhere on here. But what I am going to do is take a bit of a break. I'm going to get this opened up. When we come back, we're going to have a look once again. There's Loomis right there. We're going to have a better look at the Neca Halloween, The Night He Came Home set. Don't go anywhere. More terrifying review on the way. Stay tuned. Unfortunately, I've got the camera really far back because, well, you're not even going to see everything in this shot because this set is so incredibly large. By most horror collectors out there collecting figures and stuff like that for movie lines, this probably is the holy grail for Halloween collectibles. It's such an impressive set. I can just get Michael out of the way here just for a second. Before we actually have a look at the figures, get Michael to stand. Before we actually have a look at the figures that make up this set, I just want to show the overall diorama. You know what? We'll move both these figures out of the way for the time being. I'm just going to slide this around here. For starters, you get this really neat grassy front walkway. You can see the walkway here going up to the stairwell of the Myers house. If I move the camera up slightly, you can see actually where the pillars for the roof of the Myers house would actually have been. Obviously, from that we have the stairwell, the classic iconic stairwell, which I'll try to spin this around. Again, I apologize if you can't see everything, unfortunately, in this review because there is so much to cover. There are a couple of pieces to build. For starters, I'll move the grass pieces out of the way here. I'll move the front piece out of the way here. And the pumpkin will fall, but that's all right. First, we have the actual stairwell. And there's some really nice details on the actual stairs. You can see that there is some dirt, some speckled paint, kind of give it the indication that there's some weathering. I don't know if it's intentional, but there's a little bit of green on the actual stairwell around the bottom as well. Almost as if it had come off the grass, which I think is a nice effect. On the top of the stairwell, there are some leaves. You can see the planks, the actual floorboards of the deck. A metal, well, it's not metal, it's plastic, but a simulated metal walkway railing, stairwell railing. On the back, just for security, because this is unfortunately a fragile set, you actually can apply these little posts right here to the back of the board, just so that this will give you some extra stability. But there you have the stairwell. The one thing I don't like about the stairwell is this piece right here. You'll see that there is this peg. Let me zoom into it so you guys can see. This peg right here, it is actually intended for this pumpkin. The pumpkin lights up. I apply a little bit of pressure on it. This one's a little harder to press. There we go. I don't know if you can see it. Light up, light up, light up. A little bit there. There we go. There is a peg hole on the undersiding of this jack-o'-lantern. The idea is that jack-o'-lantern should easily fit onto this peg hole of the railing of the deck or the front porch. I can apply a little bit of pressure, and I can tell you, I think the first time I tried this too, I had a tough time getting it on there. Obviously, as you know with plastic, the older plastic gets, the more brittle it tends to get. I have a tough time getting on it now, and I'm worried that by applying pressure to it, that's going to break that peg off. It's supposed to go right there. I'm fine. I'm not somebody who has to be 100% accurate to the way it's supposed to be. You can just put the pumpkin on the stairwell like that also. And we'll put the stairwell down. Oh, and by the way, this pumpkin's been reused a couple of times. I know for one thing, it was packaged with the Evolution of Evil 2-pack that featured the young Michael Myers and older Michael Myers. Again, it does light up. This one's a little more yellow, whereas the pumpkin that came with the jack-o'-lantern that came with the Evolution 2-pack was a little more red. The light bulb inside, that is. Zooming that back, and we'll just put the stairwell to the end there. You also get a really neat plaque. It says Halloween. Wow, wow. It's up to you where you want to put this stand. I sometimes just have it in the front. And the one thing I have yet to open in both reviews, you also get a package of leaves. Guaranteed to be lost. So far I haven't lost it because I've kept these in the box. And then I kept the leaves in this baggie here. It looks like you get 5 leaves. You could sprinkle. I mean, there's already leaves, as you can see on the top of the porch. You could put more leaves there. You could put a couple of leaves on the stairwell if you want. I would have loved if they had given us more than just 5. I think there's 5 in there. But I'm not going to open these for now. I mean, they are there if you so wish. And there goes the pumpkin. Put the pumpkin back. Let's try not to lose the pumpkin spot. So there you have the porch. From there, you have these really neat textured pieces of grass. You see with the sidewalk, again, more leaves all over it. Some real nice detail and paint on these individual pieces too. Now this one here will actually slide under or in front of the stairwell. There's also a little hole right there. Can you see it? There's a little hole where the railing will actually sit into. It's not a tight fit, it just kind of sits in it. The hole's a little larger than the railing. So you have that piece right there. Well, you know what? Pumpkin's just going to go here for now. Why not? There is a secondary sidewalk piece, which is with these patio stones, the walkway stones. Some leaves, some texture work done on the grass. That slides into here. And we'll just move this around. Lastly, my cat's getting into the box down there. Lastly, we have this piece here. And this piece actually will just fit into this section here. So there you have the completed stairwell with grass, the front grass portion. Now, as the package indicated, as the set has indicated, there's the Halloween plaque. You could have these independent if you want and just have Loomis standing on one, Michael on the stairwell. But for the fact that these all kind of connect and they're irregularly shaped, I would just kind of have them together. Just, complete the setup. It's there. Why not complete it, right? Other things that you do get is you get one branch. One lonely little branch, which we will put right there. There's no indication anywhere as to specifically where you need to put that branch, but Spot's putting it right there. Right there for the time being. That, in a nutshell, is the actual backdrop. Really, really neat. I've always loved this set. Luckily, Spot was able to pick this set up when it first came out, so I think I paid about $34 now. Obviously, anybody looking to get this set now, you know it's mucho dinero. But really love this set. Now let's actually have a look at the individual figures that come with this set. For starters, we get the Shape, or Michael Myers. It's not the first Michael Myers to utilize this mold. In fact, this same Michael Myers has been used several times. It's been used, let me just zoom the camera up here, bring the camera up a bit. It's been used in the Cult Classics line that came with the sheet, with the glasses, if anybody remembers that set. It also came in, of course, as I mentioned already, the Evolution of Evil set. Now, some of the, even though it's the exact same figure, there's nothing different between them. I find, and I think I mentioned this the first time I did this video, this review, I find sometimes certain Michaels have been painted a little bit better. And if memory, my memory is not what it was, but I think I remember at the time that I shot the review that I think the Evolution of Evil Michael, even though it was the same mold, just looked a little better. I'm going to see if I can still find, if I can find that Michael, definitely a throwback of him will come as well. Michael's trusty weapon of choice, the butcher knife. I've still got the elastic, the clear elastics on his hand, keeping the knife intact. They're clear. I'm likely just to keep it there. That way I don't have to worry about fumbling around trying to get the knife in his hand. The texture in his suit, his one-piece mechanic suit, is still really nice. It's a little devoid of extra paint. It's a little too glossy, which is why I'm hoping, I know with NECA, as they've been right now with the Friday the 13th and the Nightmare on Elm Street properties, now that they've acquired those licenses, we're getting those figures. I really hope, fingers crossed, that they get a Halloween license and we actually get, you know, all the Michael Myers throughout the Halloween movies. Maybe an even unmasked Michael from part 1, where he puts the mask on and his face kind of goes with the mask. It's kind of like he's got a rubber face. I don't know what's going on there. And maybe we even get the prototype, wasn't there an old man mask originally before they used the Shatner mask? Maybe they'll even release that too. But I'm really hoping NECA gets the property license for Halloween again and we get more Michael Myers figures. Part 4 Michael would be awesome. Love to get part 5 too. Again, his face is pretty good. You can see his eyes in some light. In some other light you can't. I prefer the less of his eyes you can see, the better, at least for me. But some really nice detail. I mean, overdue, I think, for an update. I can only imagine what they would be able to do with the mask now. With the if they did a figure of Michael Myers, I think it would be a lot nicer. But even if they don't, still a really good face. And in some light, again, if you don't see the eyes, you really get this dark, menacing Michael Myers. I love that. In the way of Michael Myers' articulation, Michael Myers, as you've seen already, has a ball-jointed head. He has pin and socket shoulders, rotation in the arm, in the forearm, rotation in the hand, nothing in the waist. Pretty much from the neck down is a statue. It's pre-sculpted, and there is a bit of a swivel in his feet. One other thing I wanted to mention too, with this particular figure, and a lot of figures from this time frame of NECA toys, do be very careful with these elbow joints. The pins that they've used, and as a collector, you probably have collected enough of these to know as well, there's that certain time frame that NECA was releasing toys where they were using clear joints to peg all of their figures' arms. And those joints were notorious for breaking off. I had, well, if you go back and watch my reviews, the Seed of Chucky sets, I think both Chucky and Tiffany, I believe, had the broken limbs. The young Michael from The Evolution of Evil had that broken limb as well, from the fact that it was that clear plastic. So far, this Michael hasn't given me any problems so far. I'm hoping it stays that way. It might be also the fact that he's reusing, I think this might be the original, he might be using a different peg, a different plastic peg in there that may not break, but again, don't want to gamble with that. Always loved this Michael. He really needs an overhaul for an update, if you ask me. But still, as a figure as it is now, I think he still holds up pretty good. Michael, I'm going to give him a terrifying 6.5. A little too low, maybe a little bit, but I think a real update could really make a new Michael Myers figure fantastic. Fingers crossed that NECA does re-release a new Michael Myers series of figures. So there you have Michael. By the way, there is a peg hole on the stair here, but this stair is extremely fragile, and this is the one piece that's hollow on it. You can peg Michael into the stairwell, but I find all of the pegs, as you can hear here, a lot of the pegs are extremely hard to get any figure on, and ultimately I can't seem to get Michael all the way down. I'm worried that that's going to break the peg. So what I could always do, and what you might want to just do, is have Michael standing on the stairwell, or even standing in front of the steps, like so. So there you have Michael Myers. And then, of course, the one figure that I think a lot of people bought this set for was Sam Loomis. The first and only figure of Sam Loomis. A lone tear for Donald Pleasance for, well, he's been parted for many years by this point, but it's sad the fact that we won't ever get a Sam Loomis again in the Halloween movies, at least played by Donald. I think the likeness, though, on him is just phenomenal. Again, for a fairly old set, this set is, I would imagine this set is at least 10 years old. Anything on the back here? Nothing on the back. But likeness is really good on Sam Loomis. Of course, he's got his brown suit underneath, and then covered over by his trench coat. The trench coat has a dated look to it. It has like some of the older figures that you have maybe in your collection. You can tell older figures by newer figures sometimes by these rubbery pieces that they put on top. Sometimes they look, like in this case, it looks a little too rubbery. I'm sure NECA could really do a fantastic job on it now. Whether they'll ever get it again, whether they ever get a licensed property on Halloween again, here's hoping that they do. I mean, to get another Sam Loomis, maybe one that's not pre-posed. As you can see, he's pre-posed. His legs are pre-bent. At least the one leg is. But I really hope that they get another acquired license for the Halloween properties, and that we get, accurate throughout the movie series. Maybe even a scarred Loomis. Oh, that would be awesome. Sam Loomis from Part 4 with a scarred face. Would love it. Now, Sam's articulation is that he has a ball-jointed head as well. He has a pin and socket shoulder. They do technically bend out, but I always have had a tough time with this one arm. This other arm, same idea, I don't know. He does bend at the one arm that holds his pistol. There's the pistol in his hand right there. He does rotate in the hand. Now this arm actually only rotates by the forearm and then rotates in the hand. So a little bit different articulation depending on which arm you're looking at. He does also have a swivel in the waist, swivel in the feet as well. So there's a peg hole on the underside of his foot. You can peg him into that grassy area. If you can get his arm lined up correctly and positioned properly, you can have him confronting Michael Myers. Curse you, Michael. Really nice setup though. Sam Loomis obviously is probably one of the main reasons to get this set. I'm so happy that NECA did eventually get a Loomis figure out there. An update would be nice, but I don't know if you're going to get a better face sculpt than what they've done here. Loomis, though, is a bit of a dated figure. Loomis, I'm going to give him an 8.5. A very scary 8.5. Overall, if you ask me, as a collector of horror movie figures and dioramas and whatnot, personally, this is one of my favorite sets overall by NECA. NECA has really done a fantastic job, and there are very few sets now that I think even can compete with a set such as this. If you can find it, definitely worth picking up. It is a little bit of this, though, unfortunately. Today's terrifying throwback, we were once again having a look at the NECA The Night He Came Home box set, including an exclusive Sam Loomis. Hope you guys have enjoyed this review. I certainly have enjoyed re-reviewing this for you guys. And certainly stick around. More spooky spots are heading your way this month. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.